Phillipsburg Town Council meeting, July 10th, 2024.
Public Meeting Act statement. This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of July 10, 2024 was included in a list of meeting notices sent to newspapers of record and posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and has remained continuously posted as required notices under the statute. In addition, a copy of this notice has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk. So everyone, please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Skirbo, would you please do the invocation?
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of our community. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Here.
Councilman Kennedy?
Here.
Councilman Skirbo?
Here.
Council Vice President Wallace? Council President Marino?
Here. Bills list, please.
The regular bill list as of July 10th, 2024. Total regular bill list is $240,588.03. The prepaid bill list is $32,370.40, for a grand total of $272,958.43.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Minutes of the June 26, 2024 regular meeting minutes. We'll suspend them until next meeting.
No, just the...
These are fine. They're fine? Okay. Need a motion on the regular meeting?
So moved.
Second. Any questions? Roll call, please. This is easy. All I have to do is look right.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes.
All right, Council President and Council, ordinance 2024-14. We're still waiting for the planning board to conduct its consistency review before we can do a second reading of that ordinance. So I would recommend tabling this until the September 4th meeting.
You need a motion on it?
Motion to table.
We have a motion, we have a second? I'll second the, take a roll call so we have them on record, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Okay, public discussion on agenda items. Just state your name, come up. Boy, this is a record. Okay, ordinance for the second reading. Ordinance 02024-13. An ordinance of the town of Phillipsburg, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, authorizing the purchase by the town of Phillipsburg of real property located at 1-3 Kroner Place, Phillipsburg, New Jersey, 08865 for $100,000 from Jennifer Zubak, the administrator of the estate of Charlotte Walker, deceased. Need a motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay, this now is open to the public since it's a second reading. Just state your name. If you don't know where it is, it's down by the bridge.
Red House.
The red house to the right. Across the railroad tracks. Okay. Not a lot of people know it's there. Even some supervisors at the post office back then, we had to tell them. So there's no public comment? Okay, hearing none for the record. Roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Okay, ordinance for the second reading, ordinance 2024-15.
First reading.
Is that a first one?
Yep.
Okay, you got second. They're first, my fault.
Oh.
You gotta admit when you're wrong, Joe. It says second. You gotta correct it somewhere.
Wait, are you on 24,
No,
24
15 is
15?
the bond
15.
ordinance.
Yeah.
This is the second reading, isn't it?
Isn't that second?
Mine says first reading. Wait, I have, my agenda has 2024-15. I have a background check.
Because we voted on it last time for first reading.
16's the background.
All right, my agenda's wrong. All right, I apologize.
You don't have to.
Thank you.
That's why I put erasers on.
Mine says second reading.
See, Joe, us old people, we're ahead. Okay, 02024-15, bond ordinance providing for various 2024 capital improvements by and for the town of Phillipsburg and the county of Warren, state of New Jersey, appropriating $508,500, $508,500, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,383,075 bonds or notes of the town to finance part of the cost. Need a motion?
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
And we'll go to the public.
On which?
Bond ordinance.
Bond ordinance, Joe. 2024-15. You okay with it?
You'd have to wait, and I wasn't on time.
So you always
Go for it.
respect your elders. That's what young America has to say. Okay, seeing none from the public, roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Scarbo?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Okay, this is an ordinance first reading, will be no public input. 02024-16, ordinance of the town of Phillipsburg, county of Warren, state of New Jersey, amending chapter 7 entitled background checks, board, commission, or committee members of the code of the town of Phillipsburg regarding background checks, now entitled background checks. Need a motion and second, council discussion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion by council?
Yes, Councilman, just one quick question. What's the specific amendment to this? Is it just extending it to volunteer positions or we
Employees.
should?
Employees.
Employees.
Yeah, upon the extension of an offer of employment.
Okay, so we weren't doing it before, we're just like amending?
Yeah, amending it to formalize the process.
Got it, all right.
Any other questions by council? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Scarbo?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Okay, resolutions, consent agenda. Any council? Need a motion?
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
No discussion.
Seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Scarbo?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Council, any old business? Old business? Seeing none, let's move on to new business. Land use fee update discussion. They're not here tonight, right?
No, so just be careful. I don't have anything to offer on that.
No, I don't have anything to offer on that. Okay. Motions, fire application for Joel Pearson. I'll do them all, do one at a time. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, thank for his volunteerism. Roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Scarbo?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Junior firefighter application, Earl Black. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Scarbo?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Okay, Housing Authority Commissioner seat. I'd like to nominate Dennis Batista.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Scarbo?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Public petitions. Anyone?
Ann Davis. The last meeting, I asked a question about the nepotism policy and hiring and told someone would get back to me. So how long should I expect to wait to get an answer?
I'll tell you this, I won't answer it tonight because I'm not the administrator, but I will call them Monday morning when we're back from their vacations. We'll have it at a public meeting. Now,
Second,
go over that again, please, Ann, so I can write it down.
it was the town code, there was an anti-nepotism policy about hiring. It does not state whether that only pertains to full-time, part-time, or seasonal employees. And are we
Nepotism.
adhering to that when we're
Got it.
hiring? Because unfortunately, there's been some town Facebook posts that say we're not adhering to that. So I just want to
No problem.
find out if we're doing that or not. Second, I know I asked last meeting too, when there was discussion about Howard Street and why we're not holding that property owner accountable. And now yesterday, there was another post, the gentleman who's doing it was saying now he's working in conjunction with the town and they're gonna come pick up all this garbage, pile of about 40 or 50 garbage bags. We're all now being told we're gonna enforce the trash ordinance, but we can't put out bags, but the town's going and picking up bags off of private property. So what if somebody gets hurt? Who's liable? Is it the property owner? Because he's not asking them to be there, but the town's condoning people going onto private property and doing that. So is the town liable if someone gets hurt? Someone gets poked by a needle, someone gets, whatever.
Yeah, so any employee who's working for the town, if they get injured in the course of their performance, would be,
But I'm talking about the people that are taking it upon themselves to go down there, because the town's condoning it by going down there now and helping them and picking up all this
They're a
bagged garbage that they're collecting,
so
so.
it's like a volunteer cleanup committee? is that?
Yeah, the person's just doing it, I guess, he's getting people to do it, but it's privately owned property, so technically the property owner could sue them, or could get them for trespassing for being
Yeah.
there, but the town's condoning them being there.
Well, I'm not aware the town condoned it. This is the first I'm hearing about this, but if the town is not directing or organizing or otherwise instructing, then,
They're not,
they're
but there's
removed from it.
town people who were thanking the gentleman for going down there and doing it. So it puts the town in a very precarious position now because we're basically condoning it happening and it's private property. I have to take care of my own property. Why isn't this property owner doing that? Why are our resources, when we're looking at an 11% tax increase, that property owner, whoever they are, has to take care of their own property? Or else you're setting a precedent and now you have to do it for everybody else in this town.
What's the address? This is for the 180 Howard Street?
I don't know what the number is, I just know we always talk about the Howard Street
It's back
property.
at what we call the island. It's back on Howard Street. There's a lot of vagrant, there's camps there. I've seen it myself. And this gentleman, I guess, is cleaning it up. And the town will go by and pick up the garbage bags at the curbside. So who owns the property would have to.
I just don't want to
Check.
see that man be put into a bad situation, that he's trying to do a good thing, but it is privately owned property. And if somebody gets hurt, if he gets hurt, if one of these volunteers that are helping him gets hurt, who takes responsibility for that?
3 minutes. Excuse me,
Okay.
3 minutes.
Council President,
Yes.
can I add that I do know that on one occasion, the property owner did take a dumpster out of there. I don't know, believe it was about 2 months ago. I guess it's an ongoing problem when it just comes back. There's an encampment there and then there's just trash everywhere again. So I do know that the property owner did address it at one time, a couple months ago.
Thank you. Sir?
Good evening, Kurt Rowell, 975 Mill Street. And good evening, council members, staff, and residents of the town of Phillipsburg. I'm here to urge a no vote on the ordinance 02024-14 when it comes up for its second reading. I purchased my home here in 2016. I moved from College Hill to Steel Hill, and I'm glad I did. I love this town. I discovered a diverse and hardworking community with a historically significant past and a future as a scenic and desirable riverfront community. Our public works are well managed. I love the Bulldogs and the parks. I'm a frequent visitor to the Free Library, the Farmers Market, the Union Station Market, and my beloved PU Tower. However, there are challenges here that we all face. I gathered with many of you at St. Philip's and St. James 2 years ago and learned that the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection has designated the Sitgreaves, South Main, and Mercer Street corridor as an overburdened community. The Howard Street warehouse development will only increase that burden by bringing diminished air quality, dangerous summer temperatures from the paving and industrial activity, a reduction in public safety from tractor-trailer traffic, and many other impacts described in the Thursday Express Times article in front of you. And all of this is in a residential area which is home to our friends and neighbors, some of whom are here with us tonight. So can we respectfully put aside our differences and imagine how Phillipsburg could look in 50 or 100 years for the sake of our children and our grandchildren? Please do not allow short-sighted plans for this 32-acre parcel to destroy the character of the riverfront town we wish for our future generations. I request, when it comes up for its second reading, that you vote no on this ordinance. Thank you.
Good evening. David Morissette, 5 Fairview Heights. In September, when the ordinance comes up for a vote, will that be a first reading again, since when you did the initial first reading, there wasn't a consistency plan and you wouldn't have known what you were voting on?
No, there doesn't need to be a consistency plan for the first reading. There needs to be one prior to the second reading.
Okay, so you didn't need to know what you're voting on in the first reading?
Well, a consistency plan is not what we're voting on. A consistency plan is an act performed by the planning board evaluating the proposed ordinance and determining whether it is consistent with the master plan. And then the planning board issues a report back to the town council saying it is consistent or it's not consistent. And if it's not consistent, the town council can still adopt the ordinance, notwithstanding the fact that the planning board found it to be inconsistent with the master plan, providing that it states its reasons for doing such on the record. So
Okay.
that's how that process works.
Okay, I hope I get a little bit of time for a lengthy explanation, but thank you. So so what configuration of warehouse does the council understand that it's voting on?
It's not voting on a warehouse, a size of a warehouse. It's voting on the use of a warehouse. The ordinance 2024-14 is an ordinance to amend the redevelopment plan to permit warehouse as a change to allow industrial uses in the redevelopment area.
So it could be any of the warehouses that have been approved by the land use board at this point. It could be the 420,000 square foot warehouse that gets built. No rail.
No rail.
Correct, no rail at the front.
No discussion, because he has 3 minutes.
Okay, last question I have. What specifically do you say to those neighborhoods that will be infested with a substantial increase of trucks, diesel trucks? What do you council members have to say?
Council President?
Yes, you want to address him? Get him. He
Well,
has 3 minutes.
I'm on record already. The reason I voted the way I did, the truck traffic has always been my concern. It's my concern right now with our so-called designated truck route. We're waiting for signage and so forth. I do not want to see trucks down in that area. Tired of it. So I'm on record. I'm on record being against the ordinance.
Thank you. Any other council members?
Number one, Dave, address me, and then if they want to speak, I'll allow them to speak, but we're not going to question and answer and go over 3 minutes. Everybody gets 3 minutes, and I'll adhere to that rule.
Okay. Is my 3 minutes up?
She'll let me know.
Great. Thank you very
It's
much.
up. Thank you. Anyone else?
Joe Minor, human being. This is Town Council Rent Control number 5. This is only going to take 2 minutes. As I have previously shown, I have made more money in capital gains from my few properties than the sum of all rents I have both paid and collected in my lifetime. I have previously shown that the inflation is caused primarily as a result of capital gain. I have shown how cost was multiplied by the trust system, banking and trust system. I would now point out that the chief cure for this inflation was initially debtor's prison. It was eliminated. Churches took care of the poor. The churches did not keep up with their duty to keep the workers fed and happy. The government helped by adding public education, public housing, welfare, Medicaid, Section 8 housing, and a slew of plugs. Capital gain rose faster than wages. Rent increased at the rate of capital gain. Costs increased at the rate of inflation. The rich got richer and the poor got poorer. The present popular rent control program is horrible. It actually guarantees rents will go up and never go down, independent of the economy. It allows exception for the landlord and never the tenant by rules of engagement of the governing board that are prejudicial to profit independent of capital gain. Overall, they protect capital gain profits by allowing unfettered rent increase. Next meeting, I will show how my plan is beneficial rather than unbeneficial. And maybe you'll give me 6 minutes.
Anyone else?
And, public record.
Good evening, Council. I'm Gail Rogers, 671 Elder, and I've been concerned lately about the traffic within the town. I've been noticing that people are not adhering to traffic signals. They are treating stop signs like they're yield. They're coming out into oncoming traffic without stopping, just going through the signs. Motorcycles are not following along like cars. They are weaving in and out of traffic like they're on their own private freeway. Something has to be looked into with regards to that. Also, signage. Signage in town, I'm not exactly sure how signage works. I've been looking it up, and some of our signs that we have are sort of hard to read, especially at night. One good example is South Main Street, because South Main Street is so dark, you can't see the signs until you're right up on them. We need to have some type of reflective signs, which I see they do have because I've been researching them. And it would be better because people are aging out, eyes are getting not as strong as they used to be. And even aside from that, some people have eye problems anyway, regardless of age. So we need to do something to make that clearer to them. On Route 22 at Roseberry, Route 22 East and West, Roseberry, when you turn off Roseberry going on to Route 22 East, there's a center aisle. That aisle, the way it's created, it's got like a curvy thing here, but it's low. So when you're turning, you can't see it as well in the evening. You can see it in the daytime because there's grass and all stuff around it. It needs to be maybe reflective on the edges or something, because I know it's there and I know it's been there a long time, and sometimes I almost miss it. So it needs to be better illuminated so people can see it when they turn, especially in inclement weather. Right, so that's mainly what I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, hearing none, let's turn it over to council time. Councilman Clark.
Yes, thank you. First, I just want to make an announcement that the Firth Youth Center is hosting its 33rd annual banquet on Thursday, September 12th at 5 p.m. At the Firth Youth Center. So it's always a great time. It's a great fundraiser. I encourage as many people to attend as possible. Second, the First Phillipsburg Summer Concert Series starts tomorrow at Chappelle Park. So starting tomorrow, and it goes from 6 to 9 p.m. And for the first act, Video Days 80s Band will be playing. So remember to bring your lawn chairs, get comfortable, and try to beat the heat, so bring something to drink. And then finally, I would like to address the warehouse. I heard comments regarding the environmental justice bill and the environmental justice law, and I agree. It's something that I'm proud that I worked on. Many of y'all know that I worked for New Jersey League of Conservation Voters during that time, and I'm the only person up here that actually works in public policy as a career, specifically environmental public policy. This was a bill that I was very proud to testify before the New Jersey Senate in asking that our senators and our assembly members support the bill, and we were successful in that push, and it finally became law. One of my only resentments was that we didn't include warehouses, or weren't able to get warehouses in as an environmental factor of pollution. However, the truck traffic generated by this is very harmful to folks not only living near it, but around it. So I agree with those sentiments. And again, I voted no on this warehouse. I don't believe it's the right location. I believe it's terrible for the redevelopment around the town, and it does prove very hazardous for the health effects with particulate matter, carbon monoxide, and every other toxic chemical you could think of that would be breathing in. Not to mention the safety issues with all the 18-wheelers. So I do support voting no on this. I will continue to vote no on this warehouse, as Warren County is not a place for warehouses. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Kennedy.
Yeah, I'm just going to remind everybody to look in on seniors that you know as far as the heat goes. Also, I believe the senior center is open for people that want to look for places to get out of heat. Of course, the library, and there's another place I'm forgetting now.
Senior Center?
Well, it was I already said senior center. Anyway, just look in on your seniors, make sure they're okay. It's, you know, I don't have to tell everybody how hot it is out there. The only other thing I'm going to bring up, this week several members of the current administration are on vacation. Now, I don't begrudge anybody taking vacation. We all need vacations from time to time. I just, I think that many people in the administration going on vacation at the same time just showed some poor planning, as far as I'm concerned. I know they have their phones, they can be reached in an emergency. I know Council President Marino was kind of left in charge unofficially, but that's not his job. I just know prior to my retirement, when I went on vacation, I had to make sure I had coverage. So that's all I'm going to say about it. I don't, like I said, I don't begrudge anybody going on vacation. I think it could have been planned out better. That's it, Council President.
Councilman Scarbob.
Yes, like I did last meeting, I'd like to thank people coming out, speaking their mind on how their view is on the warehouse. I respect that, I always do. I want more people to come to the meetings to state their opinions, because that's what this town should be about. As far as what my opinion is on the warehouse is, if we're utilizing the rail, if we're looking at a new route for tractor trailers to bypass South Main Street, and we're crossing off and checking off these X's in the box, I think lighting up that area, cleaning it up, deterring crime, drug use, I think that's cleaning up our town. It's providing jobs for people that desperately need it right now. I know a lot of people say warehouses don't bring jobs, but if it's a cold storage warehouses, I know Bethlehem and Allentown, they have many jobs in that business. So I support that. I support jobs. I support the economy. I know, there is some concerns about the fumes and different things like that. I agree with that, but I would like to see the same energy come here and complain maybe about Atlantic States, how they've been in this town forever. When I go take my son to ECLC this year, I would smell metal in the air see particles, flakes. I know people live down there for years on Seagraves Street, it's on their cars. I don't see the same energy for that. It just seems more of a, just targeted towards that land, maybe that property owner. I don't know what it is, but I think we need to stay consistent as a town if we're talking about, you know, pollution and things like that, because there's a lot of other things that could be, you know, we could be looking into and putting more energy into, maybe holding people accountable there. So, like I said, I appreciate everyone's views. I respect them. Everyone comes here, always does a good job of being respectful with everyone, and I love that about this town. As far as one of our residents brought up the lighting, I do agree with her. Downtown, it needs to be more lights down there, LED lights. They need to light it up downtown. It's been dark for years. When I was campaigning, that was one of the things that I mentioned. I think we do need to look into some of the money we have, whether it's UEZ, leave that up to the mayor and administration to see where they could find money to address that issue down there. But I do agree with you, it needs to be lit up down there so we can see the signage better, so we can actually just see better in general. And there's one last thing I would like to address, and I wasn't going to do it tonight, but a couple of my family members and some of my friends in town made me aware of a video that was circulating on social media. I don't know if you guys know, Mr. Clark was recently named the chair of the Democratic Party, so I'd like to congratulate them on that. But this video was circulated through the Democratic Party, their website, stating that I'm a criminal, all these lies about me. I can tell you right now, put this on record, I could pass any background check, I could coach in this town, I can get a job anywhere. I'm not a criminal. You can think what you want about me, but for people to put those kind of things out and then I have to deal with my family members worrying about it, I don't worry about it because I know the true me. It doesn't bother me. I've been through a lot in politics and public service in this town. But I just think we need to grow up a little bit and start focusing on what we really need to do in town instead of firing shots and try to beat people down or whatever you want to try to do. But it's not really going to faze me. I think it just needs to be cleaned up. This government, I ran for a reason to clean up this government, and I'm going to stand up to it all day. You know, I don't appreciate people calling out my character, calling me a criminal, and calling me lies. It's basically slander. So I will be looking into where that video came from with authorities. So maybe that person will have to answer to that someday. So that's all I have, Council President.
Okay, thank you, Council.
Point of order. May I?
No,
Since I was directly
no rebuttals. You had your say. No rebuttals. I'm not going into kid stuff. I run an adult meeting.
Yeah.
The only thing I have to say is this. Everybody enjoy the rest of the summer. Be careful. Be safe. And if there's a lot of kid problems today. So everybody who grew up in this town, it's like when you get older, it's getting worse. So if you see these kids after 10 o'clock, call your local police department, let them know where they're at. You know, kids are kids, but if they're going to be stealing stuff, then it's a different category. So don't go online. I saw it online. There's no vigilante gangs or anything like that. If a kid does something wrong, call the police department, let the officers do their job. Okay, that's all I have to say. We do have an executive session.
For contractual matters regarding Walters Park, are we taking action? No action is going to be taken. We'll be in there for approximately 10 minutes.
Need a motion to go to executive session?
So moved.
Second?
Robert's rules.
Okay.
Roll call. Councilman Clark?
Sure.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Scarborough?
Yes.
Council President Moreno?
Yes.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Clark?
Here.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Scarborough?
Yes.
Council President Moreno?
Yes.
All right, we're in executive session for approximately 13 minutes, during which time we discussed one subject regarding Walters Park. No action was taken in executive session.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Be safe and home before the storms.